Hey up and welcome to Callums Corner. I am back in Bristol and it's pretty bleak today, to be honest with you. Bristol's bleak and I don't really want to be here. My mum's gone a bit crazy and I'm just not enjoying it. I've got the post-holiday blues slightly, I think. I spent the last few days down in the Isle of Wight and it was just brilliant. I had the best time in the recording studio and I was also situated just round the corner from this exceptional fish and chip shop, and I've kind of gone from having fish and chips 2-3 times a day to nothing, cold turkey. It's hit me hard actually, the loss. Last night was the worst. I ended up having a microwave lasagna for dinner, and just the disparity between that and what I'd eaten 24 hours earlier, large chips, pea fritter and stuff, it did hit me hard. And also, just being back in Bristol is difficult. My mum has gone a bit crazy. So those of you who have been watching my channel for the past few weeks will know that I've had an incident with a lady who lives behind me who's basically gone crazy. She's been breaking into my neighbour's garden. She pooed on their back doorstep. She's waging a vendetta against them because their daughter sings out in the garden. She's been chucking dirty tampons in there. And they spotted her like 3 o'clock in the morning the other night trying to crawl under the fence from their garden into my garden. The police were called, they went round there and it all went quiet. Anyway, my mum was away while all that was happening. She's back now, and since she's been back, the neighbours have told her what's happening. I did not want my mum to know about it. She's got history with neighbours. Anyway, she does know now, and she's got slightly obsessed with this woman. I'll tell you what, it all harks back to when I was about 12-13 years old. It was just after my father left my mum. He moved out, and our next door neighbours where we were living on the Isle of Wight, they had an extension built into their garden. It was a conservatory, and my mum just lost her shit. She'd always wanted a conservatory in the garden. It'd been like this thing she'd always wanted, hassling my dad for it. And he'd left her. She wasn't getting the extension. And also, it's what we call in my family the menopausal years. My mum just lost touch with reality for a few years. Anyway, the neighbours got this extension built, and my mum was adamant that it encroached onto our garden by 3 inches. She was out there, she measured it and stuff. She was complaining to people. She waged a war against this poor couple who lived next to us. The poor woman who'd got this little conservatory, and obviously, she must have been happy about it, finally got a conservatory and stuff. My mum never, ever let her enjoy it. Every single time they went out in the garden, they tried to open the windows, the patio doors to the conservatory, she was burning poo. This is my mum. She was burning poo. We had a dog at the time. We used to, she did this weird thing. She'd collect up all the dog poos in newspaper, put them in the incinerator, and then she'd light it. As soon as their window was open, their door was open, their washing was out on the line, she was lighting dog poo. It was mental. The incinerator was as close as the fence as she could get it, and this went on for a good couple of years until we moved house. It did settle down after that, but she's got history. So obviously, the last thing I wanted was for her to be aware of what that crazy lady has done, because I know what my mum's like. But the neighbours have told her now, and exactly as I feared, my mum's become slightly obsessed with it. She reckons she's a danger to society, this woman. Yeah, she might be. Obviously, she's putting nice in people's gardens and stuff. I'm not comfortable with that, but I don't think my mum's the one to solve this. Anyway, since she got back, she's basically taken over my bedroom now. I can't even get in there. I'm sleeping in the spare bedroom. My bedroom overlooks the back garden and it overlooks the crazy woman's house. My mum is set up in there. She's been up there all morning. She's got a pair of binoculars. She's sitting on my bed, just literally staring over at the woman's house. She's convinced that the woman is looking back, basically. I'm not looking through the binoculars. I'm not getting into that. But apparently she's standing at the window just staring at our house and my neighbour's house. I don't know where this is going to end. This is not a good development. You might think I'm exaggerating and stuff, but middle-aged women are mental. My mum is in her late middle ages. That crazy woman is definitely middle-aged. This is not what I need, a clash of bloody mental women. I'm going to go and get an all-day breakfast. I've decided to cheer myself up a little bit. I just need some decent food to kind of make the transition a bit easier, kind of lure me into it a little bit, lure me into being back in Bristol. Some of you are probably thinking, why are you moaning about the fish and chips? Surely they sell fish and chips in Bristol. And yeah, they do. They do, but the difference between a seaside fish and chip shop and what you get on the high street in the city, you know, they're mostly chains now. The difference is like night and day. It would just depress me further to get some par standard fish and chips. So I'm going to go get an all-day breakfast. You know, Bristol does an all-day breakfast as well as any city. So it should be decent, should cheer me up a little bit, and hopefully it will get me out of the house and just away from the madness for a little bit. Breakfast has been consumed and it has done the job. It has cheered me right up. It was exceptional. I went to my favourite place up in Staple Hill and I got their large option. Love it. You get 2 eggs, you know, 2 5 slices, 4 hash browns, 4 bacon, loads of beans, sausages. The only downside is it comes with the salad items, you know, the mushrooms and tomatoes and stuff. Although, to give them their due, they do plate it up sympathetically, so there's no chance of the tomato kind of running into your egg or anything. And it's kind of possible to just shuffle the salad bits off to the side of the plate like they're kind of poor relations that they are. So that's done the trick. It's cheered me up a little bit. I don't feel so bad about the loss of fish and chips anymore. What has cheered me up more is that it's quiet in my house. I was kind of expecting to come back to an argue, like a shouting match over the fence or something between my mum and the crazy lady. But I've checked on my mum and she's actually fallen asleep. She's just keeled over asleep up there. Her watch has ended, I guess. God knows what time she was awake till last night watching the lady. But at least she's quiet now. But I am worried about that situation. I mean, in an ideal world, what needs to happen is it needs to stay quiet. I mean, she's still quiet out the back there at the moment, but she just needs to settle down for a few more days until my mum kind of loses interest. I guess that's going to be my life for the next few days, just trying to run interference, keep my mum away from the crazy lady so we don't have a crazy lady battle. That's brilliant. Now, I need to move out of this house, don't I? I'm always saying, oh, it's holiday blues and stuff when I come back. But actually, it's not, is it? I mean, it's not like I've come back to work. I'm not working at the moment. I'm just YouTubing and having fun and stuff. I think the reason I enjoy myself when I'm away from here is just I don't want to live here anymore. My mum's mental. Now we've got a mental woman living behind. It's just time to move out. Right, okay, yeah, big plans, but for the next couple of days, I'm going to keep an eye on my mum and try and make sure these two don't come to blows. Oh, God, that's not good. I don't know whether you can make that out, whether you can even hear that or not, but the crazy neighbour is now crazy again. Well, actually, I guess she never stopped being crazy, but she's active again. She's shouting. We had a week's silence. It was after the police went round. It was quiet, all quiet from her, but it didn't feel like a peaceful silence. It felt oppressive. It felt like we were building up to some kind of explosion. And that happened last night, about midnight. Now, I didn't see any of it. I'm now sleeping at the front of the house in the spare bedroom. My mum's got my room, so she can spy on this lady, basically, at all times. Apparently, according to my mum, what happened was about midnight, her back door flew open, she ran out into the garden and just started screaming at the top of her voice at my house, at my neighbour's house, and apparently she was giving it big V's and fingers up and stuff at our houses. Then apparently she just turned around, ran back inside again. Nothing else for the rest of the night, my mum says, and I believe her because she's been keeping a very vigilant watch. However, hopefully you heard that she's now shouting away again this morning. Sounds like she's hitting herself or hitting something. It's not good, is it? I mean, number one, my mum feels like she's been kind of vindicated now and that she was right to be keeping a watch and stuff. I mean, she's just going to make the situation worse. It's only a matter of time before that lady spots her up there properly or my mum ends up shouting something down. And she does not need setting off any more than she is already. And now, yeah, she's shouting and hitting herself. It's just really worrying. You know, you read stories in the paper and stuff about how neighbours always thought someone was a bit crazy, but then suddenly they actually lose it and just slice someone, stab them or something. I mean, obviously, clearly, I'm 6'5", alpha male, physically gifted. So, you know, physically, she doesn't pose much of a threat to me if I'm kind of on guard and stuff. But what if I've fallen asleep in the garden in the sun? You know, sun's beating down, a couple of beers, enjoying a bank holiday or something, drift off, and I don't wake up. She clambers over the fence and cuts my throat while I'm sleeping or something. It's just worrying. Just worrying. It would be a tragedy. I'm just entering my prime now. I should have a good 50, 60 years ahead of me at my absolute peak. And if I was cut down now, it would be a travesty. So yeah, I'm worried about the situation, just uneasy about it because she's obviously very close to the edge. I mean, the fact that she's hitting herself and stuff now isn't good. The fact that my mum is clearly a little bit unhinged and is determined to keep an eye on her at all times. It's just a very volatile situation. Yeah, I'll keep you informed. Right, I'm on my way down to the shops. My mum has dispatched me down to town. She wants me to pick up a really, really low watt light bulb. Apparently she thinks the light being on in the bedroom at night is scaring the neighbour off from doing anything. But she needs some light because she wants to make notes. Christ, she really has lost it. So yeah, that's where we're at now. She sent me down the shops to get her a really low watt light bulb. Yeah, it's not a good sign. Right, I've got important news, but first we will start with an update with the crazy lady. Now, she was all quiet last night, thank bloody God. My mum is asleep upstairs now. She was awake all bloody night, just watching out for signs of life. And the neighbour herself is quiet, which is, we need that. We need, to de-escalate the situation a little bit. I mean, it's not a long-term solution, and I don't know what I'm going to do long-term. I mean, I'm hoping that it kind of resolves itself, either that kind of my mum wakes up after a proper sleep and realises that we need to leave it to the professionals. It's an insane person. There's nothing that we can do about the situation. We should just stick out of it. Either that or the woman herself loses interest in us. I mean, that would be the ideal situation. That, she's got loads of other neighbours living around her. Surely she's falling out with some of the others. They must be annoyed with her or annoying her. Hopefully at some point she kicks off with one of them and kind of gets less obsessed with us, kind of gets distracted, because I don't really know what to do otherwise. The police are not an awful lot of use here. They came round after she'd broken into their garden, but they're not going to come round just because she's sticking her fingers up from her garden, are they? Yeah, it's not ideal, and I don't really know what's going to happen, but I'm going to try and put it out of my mind now, because I've got more important things to think about today. I don't know whether you guys remember, but I had Boom Boom about 2 weeks ago, when this whole situation was kicking off and I didn't know it was a crazy lady. I thought we might actually have a ghost here because stuff was being moved from my house, like where she'd come in and pinch knives and stuff. I was worried it might be a ghost, and I end up getting together with a friend who I'd never thought of that way. She came over because she's really interested in supernatural and stuff, and we ended up having a few glasses of wine, and one thing led to another. Boom, boom. Now, I never even thought I'd have a chance with her because she's exceptionally good looking. She's really nice, and I just always thought she was out of my league. But it went well, it happened. However, unfortunately, I wasn't able to kind of run with it afterwards. We did arrange to meet up a couple of days later. We were going to go out, but I got a bit excited, and in the hope of maybe having Boom Boom again, I tried to do a back, sack and crack wax on myself. I had these waxing strips left from a video I'd done. I thought, have a go at it, make it look a bit bigger, tidy it up and stuff. She'd appreciate the effort, I thought. Now, I struggled with it a bit. I didn't know where to stop waxing. I took way too much off. And it went all red and blotchy afterwards. I likened it to like a hastily plucked halal chicken. It did not look inviting. It looked like it needed treating. Obviously, I couldn't meet up with her after that because she's beautiful. If there was any chance of us having Boom Boom again, I'm going to go for it. And then suddenly I'm going to be, she's going to see that. She's going to be horrified. She's like, looked normal a few days ago. What the hell have you done? So I had to I had to make excuses and avoid it. Now, the redness has gone down now, the blotchiness, but it still does look a little bit sad for itself. It kind of looks like I've had a localised kind of Chernobyl accident, like a bit patchy and toppy. So I'm a little bit worried. Now she texts me, she wants to meet up, she wants an update on the ghost situation. Obviously we had Boom Boom last time we were together, so it's a bit weird. They haven't seen each other again since. So I've got to go and meet her this evening. We're going out for a drink, and obviously I'm worried about this situation. I think I'm just going to go with it. I'm just going to go for it. Obviously I can turn the lights off, and if anything does happen, hopefully it'll be dark enough that she won't notice the lack of hair. And when the pump action yogurt rifle is sheathed, there's no way of knowing whether there's been waxing going on and stuff, is there? So I'm hoping that I get away with it in this situation. I mean, I'm counting my chickens before they hatch, because she could just be meeting up because she's genuinely interested in the ghosts and stuff. I guess that'll be the test, because I get to tell her tonight that we've solved it with a weird lady and stuff. So I'll know if she was just interested in the paranormal or whether she does genuinely want to see more of me. I mean, fingers crossed. I don't know, there's a lot riding on it. There's a lot of things in the air. I could end up being massively embarrassed. I could end up going nowhere and it's just kind of with friends and stuff. I don't know, but I'm excited. It's exciting. Not a lot happens. It's very exciting back in Bristol, so I'm going to bloody go with it. Right, I'm going to end the vlog here. If you enjoyed it, please do leave a like. If you didn't, please do leave a dislike. I do want your honest opinions. I'll be back with you later in the week, letting you know how I got on with the boom boom, letting you know what's happening with the lady. And we've got a couple of special themed videos coming in the next few days as well. I'm going to be trying fake tan for the first time. I'm going to try the kind of darkest fake tan to see what that's all about. And I'm also planning to have a bath in a pool full of guacamole. It came about in a live stream the other day. I don't really know how it started, but I'm going to do it. Try and eat my way out of a pool full of guacamole. So yeah, loads to look forward to. Yeah, thanks for watching.